Well, the city of Grand Rapids recently passed a new law when it comes to pedestrians and crosswalks. So in this week's Know the Law segment, Attorney Tom Stein is joining us to talk about that change and what you need to know about this, Tom.
Big change.
Yeah.
And, you know, kudos to the city commission and the mayor. They recognize we have a really big problem in Grand Rapids. Here's some very alarming statistics that inspired this change in the ordinance. There's been a 21% increase in pedestrian motor vehicle related accidents in Grand Rapids between 2009 and 2016.
Okay.
Get this, 790 pedestrian related car accidents in Kent County over a 4-year period. Of that 790, 439 of them took place in the city of Grand Rapids.
Wow.
Kent County, it has the third largest number of pedestrian car accidents in the state, even though our population is relatively small compared to the east side.
Sure.
So the takeaway from this data was, number one, we have a problem in Kent County, and we have a problem in Grand Rapids, and it's a problem that is really affecting people because it's causing serious injury, it's causing death, and it's really impeding the quality of life, especially for people who rely on their feet to get around, which in downtown Grand Rapids and greater Grand Rapids as a whole, we're seeing more and more of that. So what did the old rule used to be? Well, the old rule in the city used to mirror the rule in the state, which is that you have to yield to pedestrians in a crosswalk. I think the city commissioners realized what a lot of people realize, which is the concept of, quote, yielding.
Yeah, it's a gray word.
It's a gray word, right? Because we all know, well, there's the word yield and there's the word stop, so yield must mean something different than stop.
Right.
And then the phrase yield often gets said, followed by yield the right of way. Well, who has the right of way? Okay, so there's a lot of ambiguity about the laws about pedestrians. So what did the city do? The city passed an ordinance effective February 6th that says this: a motorist must stop and come to a complete stop for a pedestrian in a crosswalk. Simple as that. So think about some areas around town where you see this. My office downtown is right by Van Andel Arena. When you cross Ionia from Van Andel Arena, there's a crosswalk right there, right? But you can sometimes stand there for 30 seconds, a minute at a time, waiting for someone to yield to you. Now, those motorists must come to a complete stop.
Wow.
And then we're going to start seeing some change in signage around the city, telling people that they have to come to a complete stop. Now remember, this only is in the city of Grand Rapids. Of course, it's good practice to do wherever you are, because as between a car and a pedestrian, the pedestrian is going to be the one who's going to come out on the worst end of that. But keep an eye out for this, because not only is it the right thing to do, not only is it going to help bring down these really alarming numbers, but if you violate the ordinance, you can get a ticket. And as we've talked about in other segments, if you violate an ordinance or a state statute, that violation can be used to show that you were careless when you were driving your car. So really, you do it because it's the right thing to do. But we all, I think, have to recognize that the city has been trying to address something that is a real problem. And as we drive around town, and we're blessed to live in a community that's growing and there's more and more people, you got to stop.
Yep. All right. A little more clarification to the subject right there. And real quick, people need more clarification, Tom. Where can they find you?
They can find us online at www.sinusdramus.com. They can give us a call in West Michigan, 616-301-3333, or they can shoot us an email at info@sinusdramus.com.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Derek.